Revered by millions, known as the People's Pope, Pope Francis died after suffering a stroke and heart failure. His 12-year papacy was defined by firsts as he leaves behind a legacy of compassion and humility.
From the moment he addressed a 150,000-strong crowd at St. Peter's Square on March 13, 2013, Bishop Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina, now Pope Francis, was a symbol for change in the Catholic Church.
Vi lascio grazie tante dell'accoglienza. Pregate per me.
A disruptor from the outset, he was the first Pope from the Southern Hemisphere and the first non-European pontiff in more than 1,000 years.
He was a humble, simple person who had great love for people and for the poor, and so exemplified the teachings and life of Jesus in a really clear way that resonated with people all around the world.
He, without a doubt, was the most inclusive Pope I think we've ever had.
I think he was wonderful.
He supported everyone at all levels and stood up for peace.
From early in his papacy, Francis was a protector of the poor, the marginalised and the oppressed, calling on Catholics to love the LGBTQIA+ community, speaking out against laws that target them.
Questo non è giusto. Le persone di tendenze omosessuali sono figli di Dio.
The pontiff condemned Israel's invasion of Gaza and prayed for peace in Ukraine the day before he died.
Cristo risorto e fonda il dono pasquale della pace sulla martoriata Ucraina.
A strong and vocal environmental advocate, Pope Francis used his papacy to make climate change front and centre.
Climate change is a problem we can no longer be left to a future generation.
But he wasn't immune from criticism.
Some of the areas that Pope Francis was criticised for was his respect or promotion of women's place in the church, his handling of some sexual abuse matters, and also his engagement with gay and lesbian couples and the blessings of their marriages.
As the world farewells the People's Pope, Francis's legacy is present in the millions now gathering in churches around the globe.
He was not only a pope for the religious people, also for the non-believers. He was important.
We're joined now by the Archbishop of Melbourne, Peter Comensoli. Thank you very much for joining us, Archbishop, and condolences at a time like this. Clearly very sad time for a lot of Catholics. Everyone's reflecting on the legacy of the late Pope. What are your reflections?
I keep going back to images of him in gestures. Different popes have been brought different gifts. The way in which Francis engaged with people was by gestures. We just were seeing a number of those, how he would kiss the feet of prisoners. He would embrace those people that others would just shy away from. I remember quite distinctly a few years ago when he got down on his hands and knees. This is an old man. Down on his hands and knees, kissing the feet of the two leaders in the civil war in Sudan as a gesture towards seeking their reconciliation. So a man of gestures in so many different ways.
Well, hundreds of years from now, how do you think that people will look back and see his papacy? Like, what will they think about it? They'll be there and they think, oh, OK, Pope Francis, he is this.
I think those elements of him being a true shepherd, you know, it's a funny expression we use in our Catholic tradition, talking about a leader as a shepherd, but as a way of guiding people. He was very much that. And so that element of his, I think, will stay. Lots of popes come and go. That's been always the tradition. But their legacies are all different. He, as a shepherd, as a pastor, I think will be something that people will look back in, decades and centuries.
The first Latin American Pope from Argentina, a proud San Lorenzo football supporter in Buenos Aires. How did him, I guess, being non-European or coming from South America in particular, kind of shape the church?
Firstly, isn't it great that we had a Pope from the South? I think that's just tremendous. So thanks to the Cardinals last time around for giving us someone from the South. I think it has indeed shaped the whole of the church because he had been shaped. The history of Argentina would be well known. He lived through great difficulties, through the junta, through Peronism at times, the upheavals, and being able to bring the gift of the faith and the name of Jesus into those circumstances certainly shaped him, such that it would shape us. Can I give one example in that regard?
Yeah, please do.
You'd be, I hope, aware of just how extraordinary his outreach to migrants and refugees was. A defining feature of his papacy has been a call to everyone to welcome, to engage with, embrace and integrate migrants and refugees. He went, thinking back into, I think, around 2015, him going off to Lampedusa, the island where so many from North Africa were coming, drowning in the Mediterranean, being rejected by many countries within Europe at that time. He goes to there and says, we need to be with these people and find a way.
Amazing.
You know, as extraordinarily humble as he was not without his criticism, which we heard in the story. Was that fair?
I can't think of a pope that doesn't have both sides. Every pope has brought something of a gift, but always bringing gifts can be received differently. So I'm not bothered by that there might have been some aspects of his papacy that people questioned and wondered about. That's not an issue, I don't think, really. That he was leading a way is what's important here. And his gift of speaking the name of Jesus Christ into the world and seeing that as a way of living towards hope, towards mercy, these really deep things that are needed within our society. If that generates criticism, well, so be it.
Archbishop, we really appreciate your time and sharing your thoughts with us. We know that you were in mourning, as is your congregation, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you.